Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to another episode of The Spread. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with co-host Jay Dash. We're going to talk some more Bucco baseball for you this week, specifically about A.J. Burnett and why Dash thinks the Pirates have not missed a beat since the injury.
Well, it's not that I think that. I mean, since the A.J. Burnett injury, they're 13-5 with sweeps of the Dodgers and the Mets.
Oh, they'd have been 18-0 with A.J. Heart and soul.
It doesn't work like that. But A.J. Burnett, he had a 2.11 ERA going into the break. There was a lot of early Cy Young talks with him, obviously.
They were going to change the name of the trophy to the A.J. Burnett Trophy, I think.
You're dead wrong. But he made it to his first career All-Star game. Everything was going great with the entire Pirates pitching staff, really. But then out of the break, he made 3 starts, and he allowed 18 earned runs, 32 hits, 3 home runs, 3 walks with 14 Ks and 16 innings in those 3 starts. The last of which came on July 30th, and then they eventually put him on the DL with an elbow injury. Now, he has played catch from various distances recently, and he's going to throw off the mound this coming week, so he's starting to ramp up baseball activities. But like I said, the Pirates are 13-5 since he went down, and I'm going to give you the 5 main reasons why I think they have kept winning since his injury. Now they're
lowdown.
Yeah, now they're sitting at 72-47 right now, just 4.5 games behind the Cardinals, who are 77-43.
Real quick before you get into this, I want to tell all you Pirate fans, Josh Harrison was activated from the DL today, so that's good news for you Bucco fans.
Please believe, and their offense was already on a roll, and that's one of the reasons why they are winning since the Burnett injury. I mean, they have 5.06 runs per game in that 18-game span. Now, it isn't the entire offense. Obviously, Kutch, Marte, Gung, Walker, and Cervelli have been hitting well for a while now. And then you look, that only leaves 3 more spots. One spot, and this is my first reason. Not in any order, mind you. But number 1, Pedro Alvarez here.
Oh, we know Pedro's really number 1 for you.
I love Pedro Alvarez, man. He's a beast. I've been saying it all season, and now people are starting to come on my side.
You're the only one who has a Pedro fathead. I think it was the only one to be sold.
Never bought a fathead in my life. Quit lying. But over that 18-game span, he's hitting .333 with 4 home runs and 12 RBIs and 54 at-bats. And if you actually go back since July 23rd, he's hitting .328 with 7 home runs and 19 RBIs and 76 at-bats. That's pretty much 1 home run every 11 at-bats, so he's on a roll right now. Now look, his Ks are actually beginning to go back up while his walks are going down a little bit, but people don't seem to mind. Obviously, you can't mind when he's hitting the ball like this, but that's what I was saying earlier in the season, though. Sometimes the power wasn't there. He was finding other ways to be productive. Now, his K's going up, his walk's coming down, but he's hitting the ball hard, and he's been more productive than he has all season. I mean, look at his average right now, man. 252 with a 314 on base, 19 jacks already now with 62 RBIs. So he looks like his old self at the plate right now.
Now let me ask you this, and I'm not saying anything bad about Pedro. I'm just trying to ask a, open, legit question. Is it Alvarez getting better, or is it the Pirates have realized where he's going to be most successful and given him those opportunities, so he's taken advantage of it and played better? Because they're not playing him versus lefties a lot, and if he was playing versus lefties regularly, I'm not saying it would be terrible right now, but would his average still be the same, or at least around the same, do you think?
Well, I'm sure his average would be lower if he faced more lefties, although he's hitting lefties a little bit better now, and there's the question, do you want to start playing him versus lefties, because he's actually come up with a couple big hits versus lefties. But I think he's also getting more comfortable at first base as well. He's played first base a lot better recently, and that helps at the plate too. It's a little bit less worry going into your next plate appearance, thinking about what you're going to do on the field in that game. So there's a lot of reasons why that he's turned it around. But I mean, there's no denying that his power is way up from what it was earlier in the season. Now, I was arguing he was a more all-around player while his power wasn't there like it was, but right now his power's there, and he's pretty much becoming just that power hitter again. And then the number 2 reason you keep looking at this offense, Gregory Polanco, another guy that has really picked his game up recently. Since the Burnett injury, he's hitting .333 with 3 jacks, 8 RBIs, 11 runs, 3 stolen bases, has taken 8 walks with 13 Ks and 81 at-bats. And in August alone, he's hitting .338 with an on-base percentage just under .400. And really, he began to turn it around in July as well. He hit .273 with a .363 on base in July. He raised his average 30 points since July 11th. It was at .231. Now he's hitting .261. He has a .331 on base, 7 home runs, 24 doubles, 5 triples, 38 ribbies, 60 runs, 20 stolen bases. And look, he's taken 45 walks compared to 88 Ks and 433 at-bats. You can see his K rate has gone down since earlier in the season.
K rate.
Now look, that only leaves one hitter left in the starting lineup, and that moves me to my number 3 reason, and it's just the deadline deals altogether, but Aram is that other hitter, and he got off to a slow start with the Bucks, but since the Burnett injury, he's hitting .277, has his home run, 3 doubles with 12 ribbies, scored 5 runs, has taken 2 walks with 9 Ks and 65 at-bats.
Well, according to some people, Aram's going to move over to first base and take time away from Pedro again.
Yeah, I still think that's rubbish, really. I see no way in hell you're taking Pedro Alvarez out of the lineup right now, especially how he's playing defensively. I mean, he hasn't had an error in a while. He looks a lot more comfortable there, something you can deal with, especially with how his bat is playing right now.
If they're going to take Pedro out of the lineup, it should most certainly not be for a guy who's never even played the position. That's just my only beef with it.
But he has been a reason they have been winning recently. I mean, Aram's bat has turned around since the Burnett injury. And I mean, there's a combination of many things here working for the Pirates, why they haven't missed a beat since that injury. Look, Michael Morse, in August, he's hitting .294 with a .400 on-base percentage since Burnett went down. Now, it was 5 singles, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and 17 at-bats. He's not getting a lot of playing time, just platooning with Pedro. But Morse is coming through as well. I mean, these deadline deals they made, they're all working out right now for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, obviously, there's Joakim Soria and Blanton, but you also got to say the entire bullpen has been shutting teams down recently, and that includes Melanson, Watson, Hughes.
Oh, Melanson blew a save. I'm surprised Parlay wasn't hating on him.
Yeah, please believe.
2 blown saves in a year. Get him out.
Ridiculous. But look, Caminero and Bastardo have been pitching really well recently as well. But really, keeping it with these deadline moves here.
J Happ really impressed me in his last start.
Yeah, we'll get to him in a minute. Let's talk about this bullpen real quick. Quit trying to push me past my notes here. But Soria, look, a 1.93 ERA, a 1.07 WHIP. In 9 1/3 innings pitched, he's allowed 7 hits, 2 earned runs, no home runs with 3 walks, 9 Ks. He has a save and 4 holds, so he's pitching excellent with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Joe Blanton, now this might be actually the biggest move of them all, man. This guy has been a beast with the Pittsburgh Pirates. His first game with the Bucks was on August 1st, right after Burnett went down. Look, he has an 0.68 ERA, an 0.90 WHIP, in 13 1/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 1 earned run, no home runs, 4 walks, and 16 Ks. Now, he's been pitching very important innings, too, in long relief. Extra inning games, he's been shutting opposing offenses down. So really, this entire bullpen is working well, and these additions they made at the deadline for the bullpen have been perfect for the Pirates. And then, yeah, you move on to J.A. Happ, and he's totally flipped the script. I'm about to call him A.J. Happ. He actually replaced Burnett in the rotation. Now, his first start, it didn't look good, and everybody wanted to get rid of him immediately. 4 1/3 innings pitched, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks with 6 Ks. It was a 5-0 loss to the Cubs. And then
it was a shellacking.
Yeah, like I said before, you could see things from him that you could see his upside, I guess I would say. I mean, he has some nasty pitches, but he was also very inconsistent and leaving the ball over the plate too much. So they actually skipped him in the rotation the second time around. They said it was to separate lefties in the rotation, but like I said before, it also gave them more time to work with Happ on his mechanics and what he was doing wrong coming over from Seattle. And they actually confirmed that the other day. So I was dead true on that. But look, in his second start, he went 5 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 1 earned run, which was a homer, 1 walk with 7 Ks in a 3-2 win at New York. the Mets, that is. And then in his third start, even better. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 3 Ks in a 4-1 win versus Arizona, who is one of the better offenses in the National League.
And, that was an important win. I know Arizona's not really in the race for anything, but when the Pirates are in the race for a World Series title and they're close to getting towards the division, you can't lose games to teams like that. I don't expect them to sweep every series or anything, but when you have a shot to sweep Arizona, you got to take it and hope for the best, even if it's J.A. Happ on the mound. Kudos to you, Happ. I will no longer call you just awful until your next bad start.
Well, look, man, you gotta realize this guy isn't going to turn into an ace by any means. He's going to have his bad starts going forward, but you can see this guy is going to be useful for you, and you might be able to pitch him in the playoffs if A.J. Burnett does not turn it around and come back healthy and pitch like he did earlier in the season. But this moves me to my number 4 reason, and it sort of deals with J.A. Happ, and it's Ray Searidge, man. He actually, I was listening to him on 93.7 yesterday, and he actually said Happ was an easy fix. It was just a little tweak in his delivery, and like I said, he confirmed that those extra days off to work with him actually helped them figure things out. And really, Ray Searidge has done this so many times. That's why when they brought Happ in, man, I was saying just let it play out for a little bit, because they do. I mean, you can tell by now Ray Searidge actually can turn pitchers around. They have to have high upside. You can't just give him some bum and let him turn him into an ace or anything.
So 47 can't go pitch for the Pirates right now?
Oh, 47 would be an ace with Ray Searidge. What are you talking about? But look, like I said, Happ has some upside. Ray Searidge knew the problem pretty quick. They fixed it. So Happ looks like he could be a useful piece going forward. And I love Ray Searidge in his system because he does it over and over again. There's no denying it. And I'm going to stick with the coaches for my number 5 reason, and that is Clint Hurdle. I'm a fan of Clint Hurdle, but I also disagree with a lot of things he does at times during the season. But recently, he's been a lot more aggressive in in-game situations and playing to the team's strengths. I mean, he's been pulling pitchers a little earlier, including J.A. Happ and Jeff Locke, when they show any signs of fatigue going in the 6th inning or whatever. If they let up a hit or if they let up a walk, he goes straight to his bullpen, which is definitely the strength of this team right now. So that's one thing he's been doing recently. And he's also been more aggressive in pinch hit situations too. If you remember, on the 15th against the Mets in the 14th inning, he pinch hit Stewart for Blanton with 1 out and 2 on in a 3-3 tie. Now, this was after pretty much using his entire bullpen outside of Melanson. So he was putting everything on the line right there. And Stewart came through, had a game-winning RBI single. Melanson came in to finished the game off, got the save, and they got the 5-3 win. So Clint Hurdle's being a lot more aggressive than I've ever seen him with the Pittsburgh Pirates right now. And everything they're doing here is helping them not miss A.J. Burnett. And when they get A.J. Burnett back, and like you said, Harrison's coming back today, right? Correct?
Off the DL today, yeah.
And then Mercer's going to be back very soon. So they're even going to get better. If they can do what they're doing now and get someone like A.J. Burnett doing what he was doing earlier in the season, maybe not quite that good, but they can even get better.
Yeah, if AJ comes back and even keeps his ERA under 3, I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't have to be no 180
even
or
330,
211.
340 I would take out of them.
It'd be pretty beast mode.
But look, they got 3 more games versus San Francisco, and then they have a 4-game set in Miami. So there's a chance here to really stretch their lead on San Fran and then maybe gain some ground on the St. Louis Cardinals if they can go into Miami and take care of business.
The only beef, you're talking about Clint Hurdle, the only beef I have with him, really, 2 beefs. A, he buys up all the big league chew in the city and I can't find anymore. So that kind of makes me angry.
It has aspartame in it, so you're lucky.
I don't care. It's delicious. B, the only thing I don't really like about Hurdle is when the other day when we had the 8-3 lead, and he's pulling all these guys and putting defensive stuff. I get it. I understand you want the defensive players in there, blah, blah, blah. But then when you get into an extra inning game like we did, we were struggling to get any offense. It's fine in the regular season for that to happen. We ended up winning the game, no harm, no foul. But in the playoffs, I really, really hope he doesn't go with that strategy, because you don't take your bats out of the lineup unless they're a complete liability at first base. And Pedro's the only one who's been close to that this year. And over the last whatever games we've been talking about here, he's seemed to shore that up. So there's nobody out on the field to me who is that bad. So leave these guys in there in a playoff game, even in that defensive situation, because I don't want to go to extras with Sean Rodriguez and Ishikawa and all these guys trying to hit.
If it comes down to 3 more outs and you're up 1 run, I have no problem putting in Sean Rodriguez for Pedro Alvarez. And by the way, Sean Rodriguez made his first error of the season, and that's why Arizona came back, and I trust him not to do that again. But in a game where you're up 5 runs like that, I want to keep Pedro in the game and keep trying to score runs, because chances are the team isn't coming back. But with that big of a lead, there's no reason to put in defensive replacements with a 5-run lead at that point. Right. You're right. That really makes no sense to me. And there was still 9 outs in the game or something.
Yeah, it was
too.
too
It was a little too early.
Too
yes,
early.
I agree. Keep Pedro in longer. But if it comes down to 1 inning, you need to make 3 outs. I'm putting my entire defense out there. The best one.
One inning I'll go with, but still, it's a little scary because, like I said, in extras with those bats in the playoffs, I don't want to see that happen. But that wraps up our AJ Burnett segment for you today. Thank you, Dash, for coming in. Thank you, fans, for listening. Fans, you can follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. You can follow me on Twitter at betjimthewin. Check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Keep coming back to YouTube and keep clicking subscribe. Bucko Fever. Raise it.